everyone. This is Vakar Korvi from TFT Perspective, and today we have an interesting subject. There's a connection between an dubious Afghan magazine, mostly backed by the Taliban, Zalmay Khalilzad and India. It's very, very interesting. And the new narrative that they are trying to build up is that probably Pakistan's premier intelligence agency, ISI, is in collaboration with ISIS trying to destabilize the region. And it looks very, very funny. If you look at last 2 weeks, there has been diplomatic offensive by Pakistan and the region to convince Taliban in Afghanistan that they have to shut down the terrorist factories. If you look at last month, after UNGA, somewhere closer to 27 or 28 September, there was a quadrilateral meet between Pakistan, Iran, Russia and China, where there were lists of terrorist organizations operating from Afghanistan by name, including BLA, including Khawarij or TTP, including ISIS, including the Eastern Turkestan Islamic Movement, as well as those terrorist organizations which are working against Iran. And Afghanistan was told to shut down these factories because this was now affecting the entire region. This was followed by a Moscow format in Moscow, in which the expanded, I would say, forum, including India, Pakistan, Iran, Central Asian republics, Russia and China, very clearly mentioned it to Mr. Muttaqi, who was there, although Russia did say that we are taking you out of the terrorist list, Taliban, but they need to walk the talk and they need to stop terrorism emanating from Afghanistan soil. Now this has come as a big jolt, and I think even today's SCO's summit held in Islamabad, which was a great success by Pakistan, Afghanistan again resonated because now it's affecting the entire region, and SCO also agrees. But we find a strange narrative resonated by, I would say, three corners. One is, of course, Almirsaad magazine, online magazine from Afghanistan. I don't know who operates that because English is quite good, and it seems to be, done by some hostile agency. Zalmay Khalilzad, interesting, and I'll give you the background of this gentleman who's been after Pakistan since 1970s when he was an assistant professor at Columbia University. And if you look at his tweets on 9th May, it appeared that he was so frustrated that that revolution never came, and they were not able to dent Pakistan's military chain of command. And now recently we find Zalmay Khalilzad and Indian ANI resonating that ISIS is being supported by ISI of Pakistan, which is quite laughable. We know who conducted terrorist attacks against Pakistani children in the APS attack, and hundreds of children were massacred. It was basically ISIS, again emanating from Afghanistan, who was attacking Pakistan-China friendship flagship project of CPEC. And why somehow Almirsaad magazine, Zalmay Khalilzad and India are in cohorts. So just a brief mention about what Almirsaad magazine is saying. Now, if you look at the articles published by this magazine in past 1 year or so, 70% are against Pakistan. They have come up with the very flimsy idea that ISIS is being supported by ISI and it is destabilizing the region, and there is international concern. They've also published a list of several key individuals which Almirsaad magazine say have acquired through reliable resources, and this includes some of the Pakistani political figures, including from GAUI, PTM, and even some Baloch leaders. And they say that probably ISIS is going to attack them. Probably it appears that now TTP is preparing for assassinations of top political leaders in Pakistan. Pakistan should be very, very careful. And I think time has come that Pakistan uses all regional and bilateral means, diplomatic, informational and military, to stop this nonsense. Now, if you look at Zalmay Khalilzad, he was born in Afghanistan, but most of his education was in US, and then I think he was enrolled there. He's been with the academia like Columbia University, and in 1976, When Pakistan's nuclear program was in its infancy, he wrote an article in the Asian Survey magazine criticizing that Pakistan was probably hoodwinking the West and they were building a bomb. So just look at his, I would say, hatred for Pakistan. I don't know what happened to him, in 70s, that he was against Pakistan. He's also known as an agent of chaos and destruction. If you look at his profile, wherever he's gone in some important assignment, the region has seen death and destruction, nothing else. He was architect of reconciliation with Taliban, appointed by President Trump then, became a special envoy. And Doha Accord is also said to be, architect of Zalmay Khalilzad. Now there are also reports. I would like the Almirsaad magazine and Zalmay Khalilzad to comment. Now these reports are emanating from US, one by Sarah Adams, one of the interviews. She's been a top CIA analyst, target analyst, who mentioned very clearly that US is sending $87 million per week directly from Swiss banks to Kabul. And who is handling it? Definitely Taliban. There's also, SIGA's report, which is the, basically Special Inspector General who looks after the funding to Afghanistan, that after 2021, that's takeover of Taliban, more than $17 billion have been paid to Taliban government in various heads. It is said that, there are certain funds that we are not finding out. So this is very clear. Also mentioned by Ahmad Massoud, son of Ahmad Shah Massoud, again in an interview, with the US channel, basically a digital channel. And he said, what are you doing? You brought Taliban and now, basically you are funding them. So practically, I think it's just a tale of hypocrisy. Now, if you go back to Zalmay Khalilzad's credentials, he also was, one of the UNOCOL's executive, which was looking at, pipeline from Turkmenistan to Afghanistan. So he was attached with the, oil and energy joints. And later on, President Bush appointed him as ambassador to Iraq. And what happened to Iraq, we know. So it was, I think, completely dismantled, and so-called, democracy came in Iraq. He was also, I think, somehow attached with the Project for New American Century and wrote a letter, a long time back to the Clinton administration in 1998. Called for Clinton's help in removing Saddam Hussein and his regime from power by using a full complement of diplomatic, political, and military efforts. And we know what happened to Iraq and Saddam Hussein. Then if you look at his other assignments, basically, he was also taken to become the president of Afghanistan some time back, but I don't know, Afghans refused. He's been US Permanent Representative to United Nations 2007 to 2009, Ambassador to Iraq 2005 to 7, and these are the peaks of destruction of those areas, and then Ambassador to Afghanistan from 2003 to 2005 when Americans came into Afghanistan, and again it was peak of instability. And this, I think, Almirsaad magazine, a very dubious magazine. Its content is now basically directly doing propagation against Pakistan. And this new mantra of ISIS being supported by ISI is very, very funny. I feel that they should look inside, and Afghanistan should not now shy away. People that know it. Iran is building a multi-billion-dollar wall just to stop infiltration. Pakistan has fenced the border, and Pakistan has faced them very boldly. We have even gone across when there was a requirement. But Pakistan then does take care of Afghan people. 40 million people, out of which 20 million women are basically locked up in their houses. And we are now getting lectures from Almirsaad and Zalmay Khalilzad to basically look into Pakistan and ISIS. Interestingly, Zalmay Khalilzad and Almirsaad magazine is also supporting ethno-fascist groups like PTM, BLA. They are also talking of some nationalist groups. They are painting a very, I would say, bleak picture about Pakistan's future and kind of things that are happening, of loans and all that. So all told, I think there's need to dig into what is Almirsaad doing it, who is backing it up, who is writing its narrative. I don't know whether it is being done from West or Bangalore or Kabul, but I don't know. But there is a need to debunk their narrative and Pakistan must continue with their offensive, diplomatic offensive, and expose. And I'm sure Taliban one day would understand that being agents of terrorism and chaos will not work in the region. The entire region knows it. If they have any doubt, please read the statements coming from the quadrilateral meet and then Moscow format. There was a proper declaration. So let's see if things settle down and Zalmay Khalilzad and Almirsaad magazine realize that they are basically fighting a losing war. Thank you very much.